most powerful people on Earth don't travel the way you think they do. At this level, movement isn't a convenience, it's a vulnerability. Every flight, every route, every delay can expose more than a location. So the question isn't where Middle Eastern royalty goes, it's how they get there without ever being seen. This video breaks down the systems behind that invisibility, the aircraft, routes, timing, and decisions designed to erase patterns before they form. Because when wealth reaches this scale, travel stops being luxury and becomes strategy. If you believe real power is the ability to move without leaving evidence, comment control below and subscribe now, because once you understand how influence really operates, you'll never look at travel the same way again. At this level of power, travel stops being a personal decision and becomes an operating system. For Saudi royalty, movement isn't about convenience or preference, it's about preserving command. When authority spans generations and geography, every journey must protect continuity above all else. Only a small inner circle ever touches these systems. Each trip is executed like a deployment. Security, medical units, logistics, and communications are integrated into a single moving structure. The destination doesn't matter as much as the environment that arrives with them. Self-sufficient, insulated, and prepared to function without relying on anything local. What looks smooth and effortless is anything but. Behind every quiet arrival is constant recalibration, routes adjusted, contingencies layered, timing refined. And once this machinery is in motion, one rule dominates everything else. Visibility is the risk, which is why what the public notices is never where the real operation begins. There's one rule that defines how royal power actually moves, and once you understand it, every public appearance looks different. For Saudi royalty, the schedule you see is never the schedule that matters. Announced landings, televised arrivals, and ceremonial timelines exist to be observed, not followed. While attention locks onto the visible plan, a separate one is already unfolding elsewhere. Paths change by design. Timing is adjusted on purpose. Even familiar destinations are reached through different sequences each time. The objective isn't mystery, it's disruption. Predictability is treated as exposure, and exposure is treated as risk. Every journey runs with layers already active. Aircraft shift windows. Ground routes are altered minutes before movement. Alternatives aren't backups, they're part of the primary design. What looks improvised is actually rehearsed flexibility, refined through repetition. This system wasn't created overnight. It's the result of decades of experience, learned from moments where visibility carried consequences. Control isn't maintained by moving faster. It's maintained by controlling what others think they're watching. And once that principle is in place, the real question emerges. If public movement is only a decoy, where does the real journey begin? Once the real timeline leaves the public eye, control transfers upward, into the air. For Saudi royalty, flight is not travel. It is authority in motion. What looks like a private aircraft is actually one layer inside a larger aerial network designed to operate without dependence, interruption, or visibility. The core of this system consists of heavily modified wide-body jets, altered far beyond civilian standards. These aircraft are equipped to function as airborne command environments, with secure communication channels, private work zones, medical readiness, and spaces where decisions can be made without outside interference. Nothing inside is decorative. Every element exists to preserve continuity of power while in motion. Surrounding these aircraft is a second tier, smaller, long-range jets that are faster, quieter, and capable of landing at low-profile airfields. Some move ahead. Others trail behind. Others remain airborne as contingency. No single aircraft represents the journey. Redundancy is the journey. If one element pauses, another takes over without disruption. And when wheels touch the ground, authority doesn't pause. It repositions. Because air dominance is only one half of the system. What happens next, on land, is even more controlled and far less visible. The moment the aircraft settles and the doors open, the operation doesn't relax. It expands. On the ground, Saudi royal movement follows a single rule: never allow certainty. What bystanders interpret as a standard motorcade is actually a moving puzzle designed so no observer can ever be sure what they're seeing. Identical armored vehicles operate in synchronized patterns, each one visually interchangeable. Distances between cars, order within the formation, even speed changes are intentional, engineered to erase significance. No vehicle is visually privileged. No route is treated as permanent. Even familiar journeys are rewritten seconds before execution. Ground teams function independently of local systems. Communications stay closed. Instructions are short, verbal, and adaptable. If conditions shift, movement shifts with them. In many cases, false convoys are deployed first, drawing cameras, attention, and assumptions, while the real transfer unfolds elsewhere, unseen. What appears orderly from the outside is built on constant recalibration underneath. This isn't about moving quickly or making an impression, it's about denying patterns. The moment a pattern exists, vulnerability follows. So, motion stays fluid, layered, and intentionally ambiguous. But even the most controlled roads come with limits. Streets funnel movement, intersections create exposure, and when land itself becomes too observable, the system looks elsewhere, toward a space where visibility collapses entirely. Where does power move when the ground can no longer hide it? When movement can no longer rely on roads or airspace, it migrates to the one domain that erases structure entirely. At sea, control reaches its most complete form. For the Saudi royal family, water is not an escape. It's a strategic environment where borders dissolve and timelines lose meaning. These vessels are not pleasure crafts. They are self-contained strongholds designed to operate far from ports, marinas, or public systems for long stretches of time. Access happens from above, not from shore. Helicopter transfers replace docks, allowing arrivals and departures without ever entering visible infrastructure. Once in motion, the advantage compounds. A yacht can change position faster than tracking data updates, slipping between coordinates before observers can react. Inside, nothing pauses. Communications remain secure. Work continues. Security zones overlap. Decisions are made in isolation, insulated from attention and interruption. Unlike land routes that must constantly be rewritten, the ocean removes the problem entirely. There are no intersections to predict, no crowds to manage, no corridors to trace. Movement becomes fluid, undefined, and unrepeatable. Geography stops restricting power and starts protecting it. Yet this isolation is not the end goal. It's a misdirection. While focus drifts toward size, luxury, and spectacle, another mechanism operates quietly alongside it, and that final layer explains how visibility can exist without exposure at all. Privacy at this level isn't preserved by disappearing. It's preserved by directing focus. Distance and silence matter, but misdirection is what completes the system. The Saudi royal family doesn't avoid attention, they decide where it goes. Instead of vanishing, visibility is concentrated into moments designed to dominate public awareness. Official appearances, global summits, ceremonial visits, and widely covered events become focal points. Media attention locks onto these scenes, creating the illusion of transparency and access. While cameras fixate on what's staged to be visible, real movement unfolds on a separate timeline. Transitions may have already happened, routes may still be pending. What the public sees is not incorrect, it's incomplete. The narrative feels whole, but critical pieces are missing by design. This strategy doesn't depend on secrecy in the traditional sense. It works by overwhelming perception. When spectacle fills the frame, scrutiny weakens. Attention burns out before patterns can form. Information isn't hidden, it's selectively emphasized. Control is maintained without confrontation. Privacy survives not through absence, but through precision. At the highest level of wealth and influence, protection comes from shaping what the world watches, not escaping it. And once this final layer clicks into place, everything aligns. Travel, luxury, and visibility aren't separate tools. They're components of a single architecture. The real question isn't where power moves, but how few people ever notice it happening. What becomes clear by the end of this story is that for the world's elite, movement is never casual. It's engineered. Comfort is secondary. The real objective is control, over timing, visibility, and risk. Whether in the air, on land, or at sea, every layer connects into one continuous system designed to keep power uninterrupted and protected. So what stood out to you most? The airborne operations, the ground-level misdirection, or the way attention itself is used as a shield? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into how real power operates beyond what the public sees, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Zenith. This is where the stories behind closed doors get told. We'll see you in the next one.